EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free. Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling. Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money. Welcome home.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Believe in our strength. We'll stay. Protection from every reassurance we get. It's so glad to see peace of mind that us guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training, and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
My wish upon a star, is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, to give you low interest and no.
Make your wishes come true this Christmas with a loan from Portbank. Make those home renovations, treat your family and friends, and get the things on your Christmas list. All of this possible with our hassle-free financing of up to $40,000. Apply today and you can be one of the 5 lucky customers to win a shopping spree. Have it all as you wish this Christmas with Co-op Bank. Visit the website or your nearest retail banking unit for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And of course, folks, you know, it's just that time of the week, that time of Saturday. Welcome. Tell a friend, gather your household, and let's have some frank talk here this evening. Thank you for joining so that you can move effortlessly into this year and beyond, wiser and more aware through unbridled truth, packaged as mental multivitamins to strengthen you to move forward, onward, and of course, indeed, upward. This is my 106th live, independent live, that is. and of course my second for 2023. Our topic today, very, very interesting. Too many have allowed money to become their God. The issue of poor customer service throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, as frankly discussed last week during Edification 147, seemed to have been taken seriously by so many businesses, I dare say. The calls were fast and furious for consultation on the issue, with a view to, of course, addressing the anomalies and abnormalities plaguing so many local business concerns. I admire that. I also must report the several others who are more concerned with focusing on the messenger, yours truly that is, instead of the message, and missing the boat as usual. Our job here today and always is never to focus on those who are soon to become victims of themselves, since consumers and customers are becoming wiser as to their rights and the power of withholding their dollar from any establishment poorly led and poorly managed, which seem to be set up only to fleece them through a rare form of terrorism by untrained and savage employees, a true reflection of probably the business owners and managers themselves. You see, folks, there was one manager who called me and was very contrite in her discussion with me. She frankly said that listening to me during last edition got her to take stock and reflect on her leadership style with a view to engaging her team members more intentionally. I say touche to her. Such a person can gain my counsel and advice through active engagement, whether gratis or otherwise. You see, I have always contended that money will never be the reason I fall out with anyone. You know why? It is not as important to me as others make it out to be to them. If it was important to me, the several corrupt emissaries dispatched in the past to attract me on the side of the group of nastinesses and dirtinesses that we just got rid of would have been able to absorb me as they were able to absorb so many others and so many other valueless citizens who end up looking like absolutely nothing in the eyes of many today. Trust me, folks, if I were weak and material-centered, I would have fallen for all the gimmicks dangled in front of me. When one is strongly rooted in values that can freely associate oneself with strong philosophies like, I would rather fail with honor than succeed by fraud, one will always die with his character intact, which in turn would no doubt take care of his reputation. Isn't that beautiful? So we do have several businesses which are on track to becoming exceptional in their service delivery. And of course, with consistency of training and retraining, I am confident that they will attain the level of Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate, where service is rooted in their DNA. Of course, it's a process, and only time will allow such attainment. I am glad for the public ventilation of the various poor service experiences via social media, so that any offending entity could take the necessary steps to correct on one hand, while unsuspecting customers could be made aware of the potential pitfalls of patronizing those said businesses if they do not correct themselves. You know what they say? To be forewarned is to be forearmed. All we've got to do is to stay awake and remain aware of where to go and where not to go to spend your hard-earned cash. As customers or even consumers, we have the power to determine who remains in business and who does not. And we should never forget that. The power resides with us customers. My continued gratitude to all who continue to recommend me for professional service interventions by way of motivation, inspiration, and general training, coaching, and even guidance. As you ought to be aware by now, I recognize gratitude as the most fertile soil in which one can sow rather, the seeds of new intentions. Hence, I am eternally grateful to all of you. But let me single out Ashida, whose pseudonym is Nivea Newman on Facebook. Thanks for your consistent vote of confidence. Coming from you with your undiluted authenticity, as often as you repeat it, I know it has both weight and substance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is because I view my work through my God-given talent as most important to my very existence. I do not value money in the same way. For money is only a medium of exchange, that my work will determine how much of it I will receive. It is because the maintenance of my standard of living and quality of life are more important than the actual money sum that I may work for. Hence, I continue to attract the means to constantly meet my goal, to so maintain my standard of living and quality of life. Folks, start thinking that way now. We work to maintain our lifestyle, and this is at all levels. It is precisely because so many of us do not have this larger grasp as to the real reason we work. We proceed to chase after money, which can do very little for us if we really do not know how to right position it to feed our lifestyle through a decent standard of living and quality of life. So you see what I mean when I say too many have allowed money to become their God. Folks, keep hitting that share button. Let's get some more people in the room. We have a lot to share tonight. So let's take a little worthwhile break here, and then we'll come right back.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free. Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling. Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money.
Welcome home. I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Tillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current method, develop the right mind for your employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training, and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Wonderful, folks, wonderful. So welcome back. But of course, you know, it's important for me to pay homage to and respect to all of you who are joining, because, you know, we have competing activities this evening, and love Prime Minister in this evening, okay, and he's conducting a town hall at the present moment. We have Smith, Alpha, Doris, Terry, Samantha, Debbie, Judy, Marlene, Paul, and who else? Yvette, two Yvettes. So thank you very much for joining. Just keep hitting that share button, even if it serves as a reminder that they should look and listen later on, because, you know, this program is available thereafter. We just have Cherry Ann joining us. And of course, on the other platform, we have, let's see. Shirley Ann, another Wendy Ann, Kathleen, Lima, Sweetie, Brenda, Jennifer, Rhonda, David, Renee, Mimi, Anne-Marie, Bree, Judith, Fitzroy, Marlene, Michael, Kerry Ann, Margaret, Anna, Michael. Who else do we have? Janice. I think I said Joan earlier. Desline, Marcel, welcome. You just arrived, you said. Nikisha. And Christopher. Welcome, folks. Thank you very much for joining. Let me just sound the alarm here. Folks, whenever you see somebody make whatever, an emoji that you're not in favor of, you don't like, just leave it alone. Don't be distracted. Do your thing. You do you. They are doing them. People basically show you who they are, and you must believe them. So don't get distracted. Focus on the message and forget the messengers of doom and gloom who are coming to combat truth and frankness. Leave that alone, because everybody at the end of the day has his or her own rights. I think do we have a deal? Come on, if we have a deal, give me the thumbs up. We have a deal. Just stay focused. Do not be easily taken off your track. All right, folks? Blessings. Now, welcome back. Now, during these challenging times, so to speak, for so many of us, we need to keep the right perspective, for fear that we fall into the trap to moan and groan about our life. And of course, we lose sight of adjusting new normal, which is already not so normal for so many of us. I invite our mostly young population to continue to pull up their chair, pay attention, so that they could be better informed to make the tough decisions which impact their lives, and fill it with hope rather than let it fall to pieces while being in constant despair. Too many of us feel we have problems, when in truth and in fact, we lose sight of the reality that we have life, and where there's life, there is hope. The job you consider terrible is the dream job of the unemployed right now. The house you do not like is the dream house of the homeless. Your smile is the dream of someone in mild to deep depression. Your health is the dream of those who are now sick. Don't let difficult times make you forget your blessings, for we all have blessings. Dave Hollis warns that instead of rushing to return to normal, use these lingering down times to consider which parts of normal are worth returning to and choose carefully and wisely. If we really practice genuine Christianity and not the Western contaminated money-centered version, we ought to recall being taught by the accompanying good book to set our minds and keep them on what is above, the higher things, not on the things that are on earth. It's because we are not touched with the teachings of Christ we love to say we are followers of, is why we continue to miss the mark and continue to bounce lower and lower by the day. After all, we were taught very early in Sunday school that thou shalt not have any other God besides me. Not me, Eddie Frederick, but the one God. What this command was really saying to us is making nothing as important or more important than the one God we are supposed to revere and worship. Yet for all, too many have allowed money to become their God. Folks, some people would love to have your problems, and as a result would gladly trade places with you right now. You may be saying, as soon as I get out of this stagnation brought on by the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, I'll be happy. Instead, why don't you choose to be happy right where you are with whatever you have? Choose to have a good attitude without thinking about what you have and what you don't have. Stop relishing things and material. Instead, big up the things you are still able to enjoy. As long as you are not in prison, you're not in hospital, or on your final burial spot, you have many things to be grateful for. As I said to you earlier, gratitude is the most fertile soil in which one can sow the seeds of new intentions. The more you display gratitude, folks, is the more God gives you to be grateful for. Gratitude has its own multiplier effects. I have realized a long time now that my happiness is all about my approach to life, but so too is yours. One man gets up in the morning and says, "Good morning, Lord. Thank God it's morning." Another man gets up and you know what he says? "Oh, Lord, you mean it's morning already?" Which one are you? One of those two men or two people are you? You control what kind of day you are having, folks. You're as happy as you want to be. It is not your circumstances that keep you happy. Instead, it is how you respond to them. I read about these two men who had been bricklayers for more than 30 years. They were working on a huge building in a downtown area of a pretty large city. One man was always negative, discouraged, constantly complaining, and dreading going to work. Sounds about familiar to many people, maybe even including some of you tuned in here. Not so? The other man was just the opposite. He was excited to show up each day and had an attitude of faith and enthusiasm about life. He truly loved what he did. And so he ensured that with a deep love, he did not work a day in his life because he loved what he did so much. But one day a friend came to the job site and asked them separately what they were doing. The first negative one said, "Oh, we're just laying bricks. We've been doing this now for 30 years. It's so bloody boring though. One brick on top of the other, routine." Then the friend asked the second bricklayer, But you know, on the contrary, he just lit up. We're building a magnificent skyscraper here in downtown, he said. The structure is going to stand tall for generations to come. I'm just so excited that I could be a part of this legacy. What a pity too few of us sport such enthusiasm about our jobs. You see, each bricklayer's happiness or lack thereof was based on his perspective. Folks, the choice is yours. You can report to work each day and just punch in on the clock and dread being there and do as little as possible to please customers while you terrorize both your colleagues and the said customers. Or you can show up with enthusiasm and give it your best, knowing that you're making the world a better place. What I can tell those of you who are still lucky to be gainfully employed is this: stop taking your job for granted, and in the process, make it easy for your managers and business owners to include you when it is time to load shed employees. The inevitable is coming, you know. The World Bank and the IMF predict that this year will see the beginning of probably the mother of all recessions. And if attitudes are not adjusted and perspectives do not change to embrace the good all around us, and we continue instead to focus on all that we do not have and so desperately want, dog will eat our supper. Based on how many of you poor and vulnerable operate as a people, your economic and/or financial situation will get worse before any sign of it getting better will ever show up, because you have to change your attitude. It is not going to get better by any stroke of luck or any political pundit or political gangster telling you otherwise as if to attempt to tomfool you again. Any one of them try that with you. You tell them that I say I have a piece of beachfront land in Granitang that I would like to sell them. I am not in politics or any popularity contest for that matter. And therefore, I can tell you the truth without even flinching. And hence, I can afford to say to you here today, too many have allowed money to become their God. Let's take another break and we'll come right back. Remember, this keeps going up, going up, going up. Energy. A lot more to come.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome back. And for those of you just joining, thank you very much for joining. Keep sharing the live, of course, folks. And let's get some more people in the room. But of course, as I told you, we have a competing activity live going on right now. Our tendency towards laziness and lethargy must be arrested, for the change in our economic fortunes can only come with us putting all hands on deck and forgetting this nonsense of colors. Grenada is yearning for drastic change. A lot of square pegs in round holes and round pegs in square holes need to be paid off and bid farewell, for fear that their lack of capacity, let alone competency, sabotage the transformation agenda that we so badly need to give life to, if we are to make progress. There must be consensus, as petty politics has its place and time. And this pandemic climate is surely not the time nor the place. Remember, COVID-19 is still around, and we have to navigate its effects as best we could while proceeding with our lives. We need to collectively send positive vibes out into the universe so that they will redound to a positive benefit as a nation. When we get out of bed every morning, let us set our minds to victory and success. Have the attitude, this is going to be a great day. It has already started with the favor of health and life, and I'm therefore excited about my future. When our mind as a nation is collectively set on positivity, hope, and expectancy of good things, that's when we'll go places we've never before dreamed of being. New doors will open, new opportunities, and the right people will come across our path. We have to make every effort to stop entertaining the wrong people in our lives. Time to reset and rearrange the order of the people in your lives. I hasten to advise that Grenada has become a place that makes and stores a lot of wrong friends. Stop getting up in the morning and starting off in neutral. You must continually choose 24 hours a day to keep your mind on the positive things of the Master, especially being on guard during times of adversity and times of personal challenge and crisis. This is when you know you are living intentionally. But we have to do some house cleaning. If we really want to get to the promised land of a positive mindset in these challenging times, those toxic people in your lives with the following traits must be identified and avoided like the plague, for fear that you remain in this perpetual downward spiral with your life. Negative people, those who have enough time to spare to gossip and spread bad vibes about other people. The less time you take to respond to or spend with negative people, the more peaceful your life will become. And toxic people will pollute everything around them, including you. Don't hesitate to disinfect and fumigate your environment after they are gone. Do like me, become a recluse, and you would find that progress will come chasing you down. The next set of people to avoid or to get out of your life: critics. Those who criticize you or others all the time. People who criticize others are unaware of how much pain they themselves are experiencing. And happy people make others smile. People who waste your time. Folks, never allow others to steal your precious and valuable time. When you give away your time, it is a precious piece of you are giving away that will never come back to you. Avoid such people. People who waste your time. Don't worry about them. They will find somebody else whose time they could waste, but just as long as it's not yours. Life is much too short to waste your time with people who are of no benefit to you and others, not even to themselves. The other set of people, oh boy, the jealous ones. People who are jealous of you because they're not happy at your success and achievements. They often say, why not me? These people, instead of making their own progress, they spend their time undermining others. Pay close attention to those who don't cheer or compliment you on your success. Grenada is full of them. The next set of people, folks, to avoid, stay clear of those who don't care about you. And they show you. They don't tell you. They show you. Caring for others is a good social sign. It is filled with love and friendship. You will live a better life alone than to be with people who are selfish and attend to you only to fulfill their needs. Some rich people or want-to-bes don't care about your life when you are poor. Many people these days operate in a one-sided way. They depend on you and you alone to make the effort to keep things going, man. And when you stop because of the lack of reciprocity, they have the worst things to say about you. Forget them and respond to them appropriately with continued silence. Eventually, they would go away completely. You want to know the next set? People who keep disappointing you. You can't stop people from letting you down or even pushing you down. Don't blame people for disappointing you, but blame yourself for expecting too much from such people. When you expect too much, then simple things become complicated. Expectation truly is the root of all headaches. Don't let it kill you. Expect nothing and you will never be disappointed. The next set of people to avoid, like the plague, or get rid of if you have them in your life, people who are self-centered. A self-centered person is someone who only thinks about himself, his own needs, his own interests, his own gains. On a grander scale, the old nastiness was like that to so many of you. Yet for all, you continue to indicate your adoration for him. That is retardedness. One of the main regrets in life is giving considerable thought to inconsiderate people. Everybody is not your friend, folks. Some hang around you for their needs and gains. When you do good, you might be accused of being selfish with ulterior motive. Anyway, continue doing good. Be on the lookout and act accordingly. It's important for me to hail up all inspiring, spirit-centered people who, in spite of their challenges, they still manage to wear a broad smile in this often dark world. I invite you all to join me in admonishing each and every one to be the reflection of what they want to receive. If you want love, remember you can't get it if you are not more lovable yourself. If you want friends, you've got to become more friendly. If you want truth, begin being more truthful. If you want respect, be more respectful of everyone. If you want honesty, be honest yourself. You see, in life, we always receive what we give. It is a law of nature that you can't go against or ignore. If you complain all the time, you will hear all the time complaints in return, because that's what you're attracting. What we put our attention on, we get more of. So change your focus. Focus on happiness. Focus on success. Focus on genuine friendship and true love. And as I always say to you, whenever you find the love, throw down your anchor. Don't go looking for more. because you might be second guessing. Be an encourager instead of a blamer. What do you want to receive today? That will fuel your intention for the day. It is always your choice. Stay your mind on things that are positive today and avoid being lumped in the too many who have allowed money to become their God. Another break and we come right back.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wunderbar, as the Germans would say. Welcome back. And for those new ones just joining, thank you very much for joining the train tonight. We're into a fourth segment. We have a 5-segment program tonight. You know, there's truly no difference, folks, between the man that cannot read and the man that does not read. In fact, same level of ignorance abounds in both. Oh no, one or two of you might be saying right now, that can only be met by a resounding, oh yes, rather, hell yes. Because one volunteers to stay in ignorance, even though he could read, and the other one just ain't able. So if you can read and you're not reading, and you cannot read and you're not reading, you don't think the result will be the same? Same ignorance will abound. I remember saying that years ago, probably as many as 30 odd years ago, when I was on Spice Capital Radio. And it's so interesting, so interesting. A man met me in town. I said, what do you mean by that? Huh? You Eddie Frederick, you always feel you know. You always feel you know everything. What do you mean by that? I said, no, man, you're safe. No, not people like you, so I'm talking about. And you know what was his retort? What was his? Oh, I thought it was me who was throwing that for. You see how correct I am? You see how correct I am? It's sad. And you know, a lot of people that lack the ability to reason, they talk the most and always trapping themselves and don't realize it's sad. It's really, really sad. But I'm seeing here the comments are quite interesting. The vibrations and energy of the multiverse is something that love raises. Anna, I agree with you totally. I see that some people are saying avoid passive, aggressive people. There's some people that say since the year started, they dropped some people already. Well, folks, as I told you all some time ago, I had a little social not too long ago. And the youngest friendship in that social was 22 years. And the majority of the friendship was between 45 and 55 years. And of course, you know that would be a very small circle. And that's the end of Solomon Agundi. Folks, we have to have quality in our life. Grenada is a place with quantity. Brango, Bacchanal, Tebe, bouncing low. Just bouncing low. You tell somebody something, and they interpret it according to their bouncing low faculties. So all of a sudden it becomes malicious. It becomes vexatious. It becomes something to make confusion over. But it is sad because we are behaving like the lowest form of civilization probably on earth. And it's sad, really, really sad. But is that really necessary? Folks, we all should know by now that matches are a great servant, but can be a terrible master. By themselves in the box, they are inanimate and totally harmless. However, each grain of match gets its life from the use we put them to. The same goes for social media. Many people use the various platforms for various purposes. Around our parts, they are used mostly for entertainment. And a close to second is to peddle a false narrative of who many are. Our obsession with the perception of success drives us to serious lengths to take pictures of everything we do or are a part of. Everything we eat, everything we wear, everyone in whose company we are, to give us profile, as if to demonstrate that by ourselves we are really nothing. To what end? It is quite clear that among us are several status-oriented people who, without a larger vision of themselves, find it necessary to present themselves other than their own realities. Yes, it is generally mooted that we should fake it till we make it. But many of us take this too literally, without applying the substance needed to manifest what we truly seek according to the law of attraction. Fake it till you make it is a watered down secular interpretation of Mark 11:24. You know, I'm paraphrasing here. But when you want something bad enough, pray and ask God for it. Believe you have received it and it will be yours. That's the power of faith as against fake. Using today's subject matter or theme, too many have allowed money to become their God. We can see why there is a serious imbalance in our society, resulting from our divorce as a nation from sound social norms and values. This always brings me back to the period 1995 to 2022, when for the most part, we had visionless self-seekers leading the entire nation and given serious mandates on 3 occasions, and who were quite happy to hide behind the fallacy that we are a Christian nation, while they persisted in peddling the activities of the devil. Could you imagine if we really were a practicing Christian nation? For one, we would not have gravitated towards the devil's advocates as our leaders and found ourselves stuck in poverty and total deprivation, with absolutely no education and lacking sustainability to maintain and steer us along a path of our true north in context of real, genuine people development. A leader must be committed to take his or her followers up by using his or her God-given talents and brights or smarts to increase and improve their lives. He or she is expected to be grounded in the teachings of Confucius. Teach a man to fish, feed him for life. And not what obtained here in Grenada at the hands of the old nastiness, who instead doled out crumbs to his followers, created them into invalids and beggars for life. Moses was ordained to lead the Israelites across the Red Sea into the promised land. A true leader may not necessarily live long enough to complete such a journey, but at least through commitment, enthusiasm, and passion for the assignment, he can get them there. Do you remember, according to the Bible, that many of you love to tote and quote when it suits you? The stubbornness and disobedience of the Israelites, causing them to go around the same mountain for 40 years before they actually realized that what they were doing was more of the same. And alas, they made it to the promised land led by Joshua. What we do know is that Moses was successful in leading them out of captivity in Egypt. He did the heavy lifting, and Joshua completed the assignment. What does that say? In anything, there must be succession planning. You see? The assignment was given to Moses, but Joshua was there to pick it up. You catch where I'm coming from, folks? A proper leader does not use his brights or smarts and God-given talents to bamboozle and hoodwink his or her followers, as we have seen the old flawed character do to his supporters and other unsuspecting Grenadians. If we were not a people who were easily moved to the things of this world, that old nastiness could not have succeeded. But when a people only know the price of everything and the value of nothing, they must be doomed to follow these crooks and con people to the point where they are all today sitting ducks for ridicule and scorn, not to mention vilification and identification for greater exclusion from mainstream society. You see, Grenada today, because of the cancerous effects this old nastiness has had on the fabric of our society, resembles a demolition site where everything that was constructed between 1995 and 2022 had to be totally demolished. The entire area cleared of all debris in preparation for driving sturdy piles to support a much stronger foundation before any structure could be erected thereon. Folks, we have a lot of work to do, you know, because people have been decimated. The civilization has been mangled. The mess inherited with agriculture totally decimated. Education and life support with a residue of colonial indoctrination continuing to feature strongly, and our nation's children at all levels competing to see who can get the most subjects, while no attention is given to deductive reasoning and making them fit for life and fit to live with. Don't talk about our health facilities and health care, mangled beyond recognition, with our School of Nursing, a one-time well-admired and envied local program by most of CARICOM and certainly all of the OECS, totally disappeared, and our hospital services blown away to smithereens. Thank God for hearing our cries to deliver us from the fangs of these diabolical infidels who destroyed our civilization and divorced them from the value-centered lives we were meant to live. It is as if a direct result of the negligence of so many of our people that our people are, for within themselves and not having the grasp of the 7 sins, according to Dr. Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm sure you're dying to hear them. Wealth without work, you know, that leads to teething. Pleasure without conscience, not knowing when to stop. Knowledge without character, because you have a lot of people who have a lot of knowledge and they have no character. They use the knowledge to what end? commerce or business without morality and ethics, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, and of course, we just lived through an eternal, almost eternal period of politics without principle. Too many have allowed money to become their God. And that is why we appear to be so mangled as a civilization. So sad. Let's come up for one more break and then we come back for the last segment.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wunderbar. So, folks, we now enter our final segment. And I just want to thank you very much for joining this evening. And, of course, your lovely interactive comments. Very, very insightful, I must say. Anna, my dear, thank you. Thank you very much. David, Carrie Ann, thank you, of course, Marcel, Karima. It's wonderful to have all of you in the room. Now, the hot issue on cards today seemed to be the landing of cybercrime on our doorsteps, where people's private technological tools are either hacked or people are falling for the scams of strangers. Of course, in the middle of them all is money, the root of this new evil. There are too few people who just do not respond to all the salacious and attractive comings on of people that they do not know, who persist on reaching out to them. If I did not knowingly take part in a competition or contest, how could someone reach out to me, whether by phone, text, or email, to advise me that I am the winner of anything? Well, to be the winner, you have to have participated. To me, that is elementary. Could you imagine if my bank would send me correspondence requesting me to respond with, let's say, my social security number, NIS identification number, driver's license particulars, and my account number? Should I really take this bank seriously? Folks, that is what happens when you mind your own business and you remain focused. These lame attempts at distractions cannot catch you. But you see, money has become our God so much that when these attempts appear in our inboxes, We are so blinkered by the prospects of winning something and becoming rich that we fall for them easily and end up losing the little that we have, thus having to start all over again. I could see if you are hacked and your resources siphoned, but not through total ignorance, volunteering to be duped. Our smartphones are really not for stupid people. Many of us have these gadgets, and the most important part of them to us is the camera. We buy the latest Apple and or Samsung and what have you, Huawei, whatever phone it is, just because of the megapixel of the camera, because we want to be able to take the best pictures of ourselves and are not acquainting ourselves with anything else that the gadget can do. And so we end up being easy prey for scammers and the like. I recall recently hearing a man that I have all the time for in the world, by virtue of his intellect and sound experience, refer to Facebook as a modern-day rum shop, where the ignorant convene to old talk, bad talk, and crucify others. He could not be more correct in many cases. Inasmuch as there are so many other uses we can find to put Facebook to, we insist on gravitating to using it to display our baser qualities, and hence the pollution of it with things that make others look small. So many of our adults return after a bit of absence, advising that they were put in Facebook jail, and you wonder to what end. But what does that say? Yes, at times, out of ignorance, you may have uttered the word kill, murder, the N-word, and end up in jail, depending on the context. Other times, malicious people who claim the otherwise out-of-context posts that you may have made is an attack on them, and so the proverbial Facebook judges take action. Those are not as bad as people who insist on behaving like they are in a rum shop on the side of the road in real time, becoming repeat offenders in Facebook jail, because that is the only use they can put to their activities while on Facebook. There's so many positive groups, personal development coaches, positive thoughts and pages, valuable mind or self-altering videos, lovely entertaining comedic pieces, and precious elements of current affairs that we can gain from. Yet all these things will not attract an engagement, even though they are viewed widely. But the things that can't really do anything for the great matter of people who need a lift in their mental and intellectual levels most are the things they gravitate to with full-on engagement. No wonder they are so easily scammed, because they are not minding their business. We all have to, as a nation, encourage our police authorities to lift their presence and mood to investigate the sources of these scammers, who are easily moved to target others with a view of ripping them off on one hand, and on the other, to attempt to besmirch the character of others. I say to all offending parties, take courage. All offended parties, take courage. It is what it is, and it's therefore up to you, as are obviously sacrificial lambs, to recognize yourselves as the lessons many of us others need in order to change directions and wise up. Sorry for your discomfort at this point in time, but I hasten to remind you that time is both the enemy and the best friend. In short order, your incidents will be forgotten. Those of us who nothing similar has befallen as yet, take courage to awaken to the perils of not being vigilant to guard against any future similar occurrences. Thank God our forgetfulness as a people has forgiving characteristics. For we are known to be a people who easily and effortlessly move on. It is again because of our love of and for money that we seek to disfigure others with the hope of extorting funds from them on a regular and continuous basis. I want to echo a certain member of the Syrian and Lebanese community in Trinidad and Tobago. In the height of the kidnapping spree in the Republic some years ago, when he went on national media to advise any would-be kidnapper that he will not be paying a red cent for any kidnapped relative or himself, and therefore it will be useless to target him or his family members. Folks, we have to grow thick skins to repel any attempt to scandalize us, for this too shall pass. As we are on this subject, it was brought to my attention that not too long ago, a certain woman living in a certain location was filmed walking around inside her home naked. Whether she looked good or not ought not be in question for a minute, as she was within the walls of a personal space and must be free to so be if she chooses. Interestingly, the problem I have with that is that the comments that were forthcoming were disparaging about the woman and not about the obvious Mako who filmed her. You see, something wrong with our grey matter. Crucifying the woman and not crucifying the Mako. She became a victim twice of the pervert who invaded her privacy, the views of his content. Now tell me something. Means many of our people are wrong-sided in truth. Isn't that sad? But anyhow, enough on that. There were recent examples of unacceptable behavior by long-serving elected members of parliament in our sub-region, namely Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, and Ralph Gonzalez of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Really sad that when expired politicians do not know their time has come to an end, and they continue to insist on remaining pivotal to leadership of their political organizations and nations' affairs, that they tend to undo themselves. The erudite Dr. Ralph Gonzalez is the worst example of this, and the biggest disappointment when you think of it. He came to office when his predecessor appeared to want to hold on forever to power over Vincentians. And in the midst of all the mayhem, CARICOM had to intervene to help bring calm to the situation. You all remember that? Now he's at the threshold of an almost repeat of the disgust of Vincentians over his administration's staleness, not to mention the almost marking time of the economy and overall affairs of state, as it were. Just look at his disrespectful behavior in the parliament, time and time again, between himself and a certain opposition MP, while the nation's children, and I dare say, the region's children, look on at these two disgraceful, obviously senior adults. Poor examples. Another one is the recent outburst of Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown with Assot Michael threatening to thump him in the face. Totally distasteful. Grenada has had its share of similar embarrassment just by the very character-flawed nature of its immediate past Prime Minister, who presided over Grenada to become probably the most scandal-plagued nation in the entire region under his tenure. We are today faced with people using cyberspace to extort money from and con unsuspecting nationals. But the greatest con to have ever passed through Grenada was that old nastiness that was allowed to run amok for so long. It is time our people wise up and put a stop to these classless and expired elements groping our corridors of political power and ultimate authority over the people of our region. Grenadians have risen up to show that they have had enough of that nightmare. And all we have to do now is to stay woke, to make darn sure that he and his brigands stay gone. We must never allow our negligence to continue to our nation, to contribute rather to our nation remaining in darkness anytime in the future. To do this, we have to divorce ourselves from simply thinking of money as our be-all and end-all. For too many have allowed money to become their God indeed. I want to say thank you, folks, for tuning in. You very, very devoted stalwarts, so to speak. Thanks for tuning in this evening. I'm in, I'm out, I'm gone. See you next week, God willing, for regular programming. Until then, I want you to stay safe because, you know, COVID is still around. Stay well and remain lifted. So, see you anon.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free. Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling. Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money.
Welcome home.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Tillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all. Edification.